Well, we've been following the recent debates about Obamacare and broken websites and Obamacare and broken promises, but now a new controversy about whether the very word Obamacare represents a racial slur. Here is that argument from one cable news host this weekend.
It's a word that has been with us for years. And like it or not, it's indelibly printed in the pages of American history. A word that was originally intended as a derogatory term, meant to shame and divide and demean. The word was conceived of by a group of wealthy white men who needed a way to put themselves above and apart from a black man, to render him inferior and unequal, and to diminish his accomplishments. President Obama has been labeled with this word by his opponents. Y'all know the word that I'm talking about. ObamaCare.
Okay. Matt Bennett is a former Clinton White House deputy assistant. Mercedes Colwin is a Fox News legal analyst. And Katie Pavlich is editor of townhall.com news. Unbelievable. Matt, let me give that one to you as a former Clinton White House guy. I mean, it's meant to shame, divide, and demean, and conceived of by a group of wealthy white men.
That's ridiculous. Thank you, Megan, for going to me first on this one. Look. If this was an attempt at humor, it failed. It was not funny, it wasn't appropriate, and it was offensive. Moreover, it misses the point. The president kind of adopted the idea of the term Obamacare in ways that he hasn't on other things. Look, Republicans and his opponents come up with all kinds of terms. The death tax for the estate tax, the sneering term, the Democrat Party. You know, we don't adopt those terms, but the president adopted Obamacare because it stands for the signature initiative of his presidency.
But she suggests he had to, that this has been used to render him inferior and unequal and to diminish him, but he ultimately had to sort of submit to it, and that's the only reason he took it on as his own. Let me ask you this, Katie. What is she talking about? It was conceived of by a group of wealthy white men.
I'm not really sure, and I'd like to point out that Melissa Harris Perry is not only a TV host, but she's also a professor. And if we're going to talk about Obamacare being a bad term, can we talk about Romney Care and Hillary Care? And for me, this goes back to the main argument and why racism, it's all thrown in as racist because they don't want us to talk about it anymore. So in order to say, get rid of the argument since Obamacare is going so poorly, they're now throwing out this lazy race argument to try and get us off of the, oh, I don't want to be called a racist campaign.
Does this work anymore? I mean, like this person in particular sees racism everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Remember that movie Boomerang? And there was like a thread. There was a joke about this, how they would see the pool table and they were like, and the black ball gets hit. And it was a joke about how some people see racism everywhere, and it totally diminishes actual claims of racism, Mercedes.
I mean, that's exactly right. So everyone that criticizes Obamacare is a racist. So that means the doctors that are fleeing their clinical practices because they can't afford what's going to happen. That means the franchise owners who are saying, I can't afford this, so I'm going to eliminate employees. And those full-time employers, they'll be part-timers because I can't afford the health care under the Affordable Care Act. And then also all the millions of Americans that lost their policies. They're also racist too. It's absolutely outrageous. There is a racist in this equation.
It's like it's a short form way of referring to. It's a short form way of referring to the law, which only recently was short formed as the ACA. We used to call it PUPACA, which was no good. No one wanted to say PUPACA. Okay, let's.